Hey guys, this is Benjamin with Benjamin's Exotics, and today I just wanted to show you guys and talk about a few things that if you're just getting into reptiles or if you're just starting to get some pet reptiles and you wanted to save some money, not going out and get one of those big exoterras or something that, is 3-4 times the price of a normal 10-gallon or something, and it's even smaller. And just some quick tips on how to save money on some different things. So, I'll get straight into it. These are just a few tips and stuff like that. By the way, I'll say this right now. When we say saving money, we're talking about finding alternatives to fit the reptile's needs. We're not talking about taking something that the reptile needs and replacing it for something that it does not need or for something that it won't be benefiting from. For instance, if your ball pythons need, like right here, get a little bag of it. Your ball pythons need cypress mulch to keep moisture in their cage. A saving tip would not be to go out and get something like this aspen or pine bedding, because this is not saving money. This is sacrificing and switching out for something that it does not need. So I'll put that out right here. Don't sacrifice quality just for price. But there are a few things that you can do to save yourself some money, which over the years can really add up to the point where you could probably get another animal with all the money you've saved. So I'll just list a few things here. This will hopefully be a quick video. But number one, we're looking at hides. You can go out and you can go to the pet store and you can spend 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 bucks getting little rock hides and stone hides and fake plastic hides and wood hides and all kinds of stuff for your animals, especially leopard geckos. But as long as you're not heating with a light, because the light will bother them shining through the plastic, these little things right here will do just fine. You can literally go to the dollar store, pick up like 4 of these for $1. I just take a soldering iron and just melt a little hole in the front of that right there, so the gecko can crawl in, and I use a soldering iron, not a knife, so you don't have any sharp edges. And we've actually got a little leopard gecko in here, and that's just what I use. I use a little bit bigger of one. I think these are like by Betty Crocker or something like that. It's just the basic, Tupperware container you find at the store. Just burn a little hole in there, put some coconut fiber in there, spray it down, and you got a perfect moist hide. Just remember, you can't use lights for heating with this because it'll shine through and bother the animal will never want to use this. So she's real cool, and I'll let her kind of run around, and she's going to try to get out and jump. Okay. So we'll let her sit around right there and run around. Number 2, when we're looking at water for your reptiles, I've seen these little Zoom Ed things. They're the little bottles of like blue stuff, and you're supposed to dip, the little vitamins or whatever they are, just to clean out the water. You know what I'm talking about? The little bottles of like blue cleaner or something like that for the water. You're supposed to like put 2 or 3 drops in the water, and it makes the water safe. I guess you could do something like that, but I've never done it that way. I used to just use straight tap water, and I still probably do that off and on, but the best idea is just to simply take your gallon of milk or something like that, wash it out real good, of course, but then just label it with whatever you want, and leave the lid off and just let it sit in your room for a few days, or even a week would probably be the best. And anything, chlorine cleaners, basically all just evaporate out of there, and you have good drinking water for your reptiles. And then another thing, I see lots of people go out, and when they're first getting their reptiles, they go to the pet store, and they're like, oh, we got to worry about, we got to get the right everything, so they'll go out and they'll spend $10 or something ridiculous on a spray bottle from Zoom Ed that'll last you about a week or something before it breaks. Honestly, I've used the ones from Zoom Ed when I was first getting started because I didn't know what else to do. These work fine, just water bottles from the dollar store. They work good as sprayers, and the bigger ones actually kind of can replace this. You fill this up, let all the stuff evaporate, and you got good drinking water for your reptiles. But the spray bottle is a little thing, but one of the bigger things actually, and it's what I just got a few days ago, actually yesterday I think, depending on when this video goes up, is instead of going out and spending 10, 15 bucks, I've even seen like 30 bucks for your reptile bowls and things like that you get from the pet stores that are made of rock or, like they say, recycled plastic or something, which is good for the environment, of course. But if you just go to the dollar store, you have to, of course, make sure and taking into consideration that they aren't really always meant for reptiles, but you can just get something like this glass bowl, or they have huge plastic dog bowls at the dollar store, and those will work just fine for your reptiles. That's the only thing I've ever used. I've never got one of the reptile bowls. So that's another thing you could do to spend money, or sorry, to save money. And one of the biggest things you're going to be looking at besides food, because you can't really sacrifice anything or save too much money on food besides breeding, which I'll talk about in a second. But bedding, when we're looking at bedding, going bulk with anything basically, food, bedding, cages, everything is always basically going to save you money. So if you're talking about pine bedding, don't go out and just get a little, $20 bag of, well, pine or aspen bedding, but don't go out and get, a little $20 bag that they've got at the pet store that's basically nothing. 50% of it's just pumped air. I mean, some of the stuff there is pretty good quality, but you can go out and you can get it for much cheaper. You go online, you can find for $8 the same exact stuff, but it's in a huge bag, and it's like 8, 10, 12, 20 times the amount. So, one of the examples I was going to show you real quick is, instead of going out and for like 15 or 20 bucks get one of those bags of the Zoom Ed already done Eco Earth, just buy one of these bricks. These bricks are like $4 or $5. Get a bucket from the dollar store, throw some water in, let it evaporate in the sun, and you're good. Now it'll be a little bit challenging to do in the winter, but it'll take a lot longer to evaporate in your house, but this right here can save you a lot of money for bedding, because bedding and food are probably the two biggest things you're going to spend in a year on your reptiles. Food is the biggest, and then the last one is just breed your own food. Not only do you then get to see what goes into your reptile, but it saves you money. You see what is going into your reptile. You can control the size of different things, and you have more availability. So if you have a bunch of different reptiles that, let's say you're breeding rats, and you need some small rats, some pinkies, some mediums, you don't have to go out and find each one of those. You have them all right there available to you. So it's availability. It's going into your feeders, which is then going into your animals. I've talked about this before, and it saves you money. So, like with the mealworms, these guys are really easy to breed. I've been breeding them for years with, pretty good success. Very easy to breed. You don't need a lot of stuff, and that's actually a lot of beetles. Not really compared to what I used to have, but I did not think that there was that many in there. But just, a few basic tips. Just be thinking about alternative ways to save yourself some money, because, with the amount you might spend on mealworms and fancy bedding and fancy hides and special 20, 30 buck water bowls and, spray bottles and that water conditioner, you could be saving 50 to 100 bucks a year, which is enough to buy another reptile like leopard gecko or ball python, base morphs even, stuff like that. So just keep in mind that you don't want to sacrifice the quality of the products you're getting for your reptile, but also be remembering that there are alternatives, there are other ways to save some money, and in the end, if you can save a buck or two without sacrificing any health problems with your reptile, that could be enough to get another reptile. So just a few things to keep in mind. This video went on a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I'll give you one last shot of my rescue leopard gecko right here that I've had for, I think I don't know how old she is, but I know she's been in my care for about 3 years. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this saves you guys some money. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. I'll give you one last shot of her before we go. She's actually a little bit skinny right now. Leopard geckos actually go on and off food sometimes, but she's not too bad. Hoping to get her some waxworms and some probably dubia roaches, see if we can get her a little bit bigger soon, but see you guys later.